Hello and welcome to another comic review. I have so many comics and I am so bad at getting through these, but we're going to try this. Today we are doing the Battle Nexus and I have 1 through 4. I've been really excited about this series, but to be honest, as I was reading through it, I got less excited and I almost stopped. Thank you, Dinah. I almost stopped. And then when I got to the second one, I was like, I don't know if I really care for this. And so I didn't really get the third one for a while. And then some people were talking about the fourth one, and it got me interested again. So I grabbed the third one, and I have the fourth one, and we're just going to cover this much. Of course, if you haven't been following Battle Nexus, and from this review, you want to then find the end, you have to go read the end it yourself. We're not going to cover the end, I don't think, unless something so wild happens in the last one. I think there's just 5 that we absolutely have to cover it, but I don't really want to get flagged, even though it's not like a whole bunch of people watch this video. But I don't want to get flagged and have it taken down by showing too much, so we're not going to cover the whole thing, especially since this is still coming out. We're just going to do 1 through 4. When this came out, they did advertise it as kind of like a crossover series. We were going to see some stuff from other iterations from the past, and so of course that got me really excited. We knew that OG Shredder was going to be in it. They showed us this really cool design of Ninjara, then the 2012 Metalhead. We knew all of this stuff right from the beginning. And then this Slash, I think, is supposed to be just the Slash from the IDW world. He's not from like a different universe or anything. So the beginning of this, it just kind of talks about, it gives us a history of this particular Battle Nexus in the IDW world. It used to be a thing where warriors would be captured and they would be forced to fight each other to the death pretty much. And then Lord Simultaneous and some other people of his ilk kind of took over it. And they made it more of a tournament of champions, so being in the Battle Nexus was kind of an honor, and people look forward to fighting in it and stuff like that. Kind of like what you see in the 2003 series, which, honestly, like, I think this is a really slow start, and I don't necessarily think that this was necessary. I personally would have started this series with, like, the turtles in the Battle Nexus. Like, I would have just jumped right in, because especially if you only have 5 issues, like, you gotta pack the story in as fast as you can. And I don't believe in starting stories slow if I can help it. And then we jump back in, and this is just some, like, lighthearted, goofy stuff to get the story going. I do kind of like this. So they're just fighting Bebop and Rocksteady for reasons, and they get this, like, hot dog cart thrown at them, and I thought this was kind of funny dialogue, where the hot dog guy is like, "You demolished my car," and Bebop's like, "Oh, quit whining, wiener guy." There's things all over the place. You can just get another hot dog cart, and he's like, "That's not how that works." And I don't know. I thought that was funny. There's actually some really fun dialogue in this series. But yeah, this is the momentum starting, but this fight is useless. Like, there's no point for this fight other than to have a fight, which is, and then just randomly they get pulled into a portal at the middle of this fight. So all of this, I personally would say, like, if you were trying to squeeze as much story as you can in 5 issues, like, all of this could have gone, really, and we could have started right here. Like, 2003 starts their stories like this, kind of like, you get that little narration, like, from one of the turtles where they're like, "Here I am, and this is how my day is going," and then, and then you get a jump back. But I would have started it here, I would have got some stuff going, and then I would have maybe tried to, if this was, I don't even think this is necessarily important. Like, we all know what the Battle Nexus is by now. I don't know if we really needed that history. But here we are in the Battle Nexus. This is kind of cool. It's just like this, it almost looks like a prison. Because this was, if you see here, this is what the Battle Nexus was supposed to look like. And this is what it looks like now. You see Savante Romano has redid it, so it looks like a prison pretty much, which is still kind of cool because it's like by the seaside and stuff. And then we get our first look at Ninjara. I love this. I love this design. This is such a cool design for her. This design is terrible. This is such an awful design. I don't like, especially it's in the face and just like this skin color. But I feel like every picture of him, his face is different. Like it just doesn't quite keep from hi Dinah. It doesn't keep from one to the other quite, but she looks so good, you know. And then Savante Romano is like like he calls him Romeo Sombrero. Savante Romero. I'm gonna get his name wrong too. He's like, hey, I brought you here to fight. And here's this council, and I didn't really pick up on this until later, but you can see Lord Simultaneous and the rest of these people here. Like I thought they were just like throwaway guys or something, like they were just part of the Time Wizard people, but they are actually other characters. Will be later revealed. He kind of made this council by himself to like witness these fights. He's also got this magic wand. I don't know what it is. That like if you get zapped with it, you feel bad. Like I don't know why that was a thing, but they're like, oh, they got zapped and they're like, oh, it kind of hurts. I don't like it. So this is like a negative energy. He's like, here's the council, and then of course the apprentice, because this is the character that the turtles know. But this is like we get. So supposedly she's going to appear in this chair. This is where she's being kept. But when she shows up, we get this weird frame that's just... what is up with this frame? Like, what's up with, like, her mouth? And just the framing of this. Like, why is it so weirdly sexualized? This is just such a weird picture. It just, like, if we're trying to, like, show where she's at in the scene, neither one of these pictures are great to really, you know, show where she's being kept, just so we know where all the players are. He calls Slash his champion, so supposedly Slash has fought a bunch of other people in the Battle Nexus and won, and he doesn't really seem to care that the other turtles are there. He's like, nah, I'm just gonna keep fighting. So you're like, okay, and in IDW, he is their friend. Kind of. Yeah, he's kind of there. He's Mikey's friend. But he's like totally into fighting. Like he does not give a shit. We jump right into it where he zaps him again and they're like, man, doesn't feel good. I don't know why this is a thing, but like whenever they get zapped, it doesn't feel good. And the other guys get tied up and Leo has to fight Black and White Shredder. This is issue 1. And then, of course, issue 2 is the actual... Oh, and then we have some backstory where he got... Like, this is even worse. I don't know, this... Why is he different colors in every frame? Like, this character design, I can't do it with this character design. But he's, like, in the Phantom Zone, and there's nothing there. And he, like, goes a little feral, but they, like, it's just some random magic door opens, and then he's back out. He's like, woo, freedom! And this cracked me up, though. They had to have one panel telling you that, like, he manscaped and he got he got all cleaned up, because that was important. He made this ugly staff himself, which I feel like you can tell. And then he reworked the Battle Nexus. But then, you know, Leo fights OG Shredder, and I've never really thought of OG Shredder as, like, the scariest Shredder, but he kind of gets into Leo's head and kind of kicks his ass. Like, he really just hands it to him. And then Leo apparently, like, they kind of infer the sword went right through that he got, like, stabbed with his own sword. And this dude is, like, so happy about it. And they're just kind of like, ooh, I don't know about that. Leo lost the fight, and this dude got a little mouthy, and so he got zapped. And then you find out he's, this is actually the daimyo from the Battle Nexus storyline in 2003. So you're like, oh, these gotta be other characters that we know then. Interesting. While Leo was fighting, these guys just kind of sat there, but since Leo lost, like, Raphael rips off, apparently could just rip off his ropes like no problem. He didn't do it before. And so Najara comes and they kind of fight, and then Donnie and Mikey can just get out too, apparently. No problem. She looks terrible. This is not a great picture of her. Like, the first, I think these are different artists. Yeah, these are different artists. As you can tell, if you can see, like, the turtles. It's a different artist. these three get relegated to like the cells, the holding cells, waiting for their turn to fight, and they run into this dude, which I'm pretty sure is Last Ronin Mikey, and he's just telling them like you just gotta wait till your turn to fight, and they're like, "K." And we get this cool picture. So there is, you can tell that's the 2007 Michelangelo with the big cartoon head fighting this guy from, I think this is the Archie comics with the wrestling storyline. And this villain is from Rise. This might be 2012 Michelangelo. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who he's supposed to be. And then look, there's Slash Our Champion fighting this elephant guy. We've got Bay vs. Leo fighting. I'm not sure who this one is either. I know a lot about Ninja Turtles, but I don't know everything about Ninja Turtles, especially like the old comics. And then here's Slash again fighting Triceraton with a Utron thing. I don't know what that is. But he just talks about how there's been lots of battles before, and he's seen a lot of turtles come and gone. You know, the turtles always win the fight, but apparently not in the Battle Nexus. And it could be because What's His Bucket cheats and makes sure that the other guys win and the turtles always lose. And so Weird Mittens guy, I think he's Last Ronin Mikey. It just feels like it, but you know, I could be wrong. There could be a reason why they keep hiding his face. But we see at the end, it's Raphael's turn to fight. And he has to fight Alopex, which I hate her name. I hate her name so much. It's not even fun to say, but he has to fight Alopex. And this was the point where I was like, I thought we'd be seeing more crossover stuff by now. By issue 2, I thought we'd really be getting into it. Or at least, like, this fight, I thought would be another crossover fight, like we got with IDW Leo and then OG Shredder. So like I wanted another crossover fight, but I'm like, I don't want to see Raph fight Alopex. Like that is a fight I don't want. And so I kind of got a little out of it. Oh, and I also forgot. I forget this every time. But there's these stupid comics in the back with this guy who you guys know I hate. I hate Mr. Og so much. But we get to see like he's just talking about the Battle Nexus. And we get to see a whole bunch of different Raphaels, and then the Last Ronin right there. And so we get it in every issue. Here it is in issue 2, and in this one we actually have some kind of fights. So we've got like OG live action turtles versus our newest turtles from Mutant Mayhem. And they just like, you know, they just like banter, and each one is fighting each one. I kind of like this where this Leo's like, I have to go, like we can't stay here, I have homework. And he's like, you go to school? Which I thought was cute. And so we're in 3, and like I said, this is where I stopped. I really didn't want to see this fight. You know, like all I wanted was just like a bunch of crossovers. I just wanted Turtles Forever, the comic, and I was hoping that's what this was. And it really felt like we weren't getting it, and I was kind of being a little bitter bitch about it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, I saw people talking about this one, and so I was like, well, now I have to get this one because I think I'm gonna continue. And we actually got this really cool storyline with Ninjara up here. Like, this is so good. I love this art here. I love this character design. She looks good. Like, I was super into this. And it talks about how her name isn't actually Ninjara. That's the name of her people. Her name is Umiko, which I think, once again, like the old comics, I'm a little vague on. I've been reading some, but I haven't read everything. I think Umiko and Ninjara were 2 different characters, and then they turned them into one. I could be wrong. I could also be wrong about that, but it just seems like in this first issue, I think when they first saw Ninjara, Leo was like, hey Raph, look, she's your type because she's a wolf. Because like Raph has so many wolf girlfriends. And IDW just made him another one. So I thought that was kind of funny too. But this is just so cool. So Ninjara was given like this creepy blade, saying that she was destined to bring down a certain prey with this blade, like a hunter warrior people, and this is what she has to do to like go through the rite of passage to adulthood. Romero Sombrero appears, and this is, I love this art. Like, it's just so beautiful. Such great art. I'm so glad I got this issue. He knows about her type of people that she kind of is like a cryptid. He says if you steal the tail of a ninjara, then they are yours to command. And so, which I thought was cool. It kind of feels like, like a Selkie when you steal the Selkie skin, like they're stuck with you type thing. This was super cool, and I don't think this is part of any like old lore. I think this is new. I think this is something they came up with for the storyline, which I just think is so cool. Like everything about Ninjara is cool. I hope she has a reason to be in the story. It seems like she does now. At the beginning I was like, why is she in it though? Even though she's super cool. I love this art. I love it so much. This whole issue just has great art. Great issue. I like I said, I was just being a bitter bitch. I really liked this issue. And we do get into the Alopex Raphael fight, which, like I said, I still didn't want this fight, but this was actually a really, really good fight. They kind of got out all the bad feelings between them. She left because in the Armageddon game, the turtles went with Shredder and let him train them, which I still think is super stupid, because literally nothing they learned actually made them win the Armageddon game. The Armageddon game was crazy. So there was really no point, but she was so bitter about it because the Shredder brainwashed her and mutated her and destroyed her home and destroyed her family, and Raph and his brothers went with them, and they ignored her when she's like, don't go with the Shredder. And so she left him, and she left the city. And they're just kind of getting all the bad feelings out, and I love it. It's such a good fight, and this art is just so good. And I was really just expecting to leave with a bad feeling, but this fight is so good, and they got in some good hits. And I really like this dialogue here where this is the only part where the art is weird. This looks like a different character now than the one that was in these previous issues. This supposedly Last Ronin character, which maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's a fake out. But I like where he says who's winning, and then Donatello says Savanti Romero. That's a great line. This piece, I like this picture too. So much good art. Other than, like I said, I don't know. This looks different. This looks like it might be something else. Michelangelo's blind, which is why his eyes are white, which I did not know until I read the last year's. I thought he could see through the whole thing. They just fight and fight and fight until they can't fight anymore, and then they just start laughing because they got all the bad feelings out, and this picture's so great. I don't even... Alopex is fine. She's not my favorite character, but I don't mind her, but this was just such a great scene. So far, this is the best issue, and even though I didn't get what I wanted a crossover fight. This is a great issue. And then somebody else gets mouthy in the gallery, and he hits her too, and it's actually Big Mama. So these are all different villains from different worlds. For some reason, he just locks them up. I don't know. He just wanted some witnesses, I guess. But I was super stoked to see Big Mama. She's such a great villain. And so then we know Donatello's like, it's probably my turn now. And he's like, yep. And he's like, I pretty much know who you're gonna have me fight. And it's Metalhead. And I don't really care about these. They weren't great. Then we've got OG Turtles against Rise Turtles. And this, I don't know, this was kind of weird. The dialogue was weird, and they stole Leo's swords, but he only has one sword in Rise. He just has an Odachi. So, I don't know, I feel like whoever wrote this, the Jumpin' Jack Flash, I can't see a thing. I feel like that's weird dialogue for Rise. But, yeah, they can't let Rise win over OG Turtles, even though Michelangelo literally threw a building, an entire building at a villain, but these guys win. I don't know, but it's nice to see them. This art is way better than the other Rise art we got in the 40th anniversary. They at least look like themselves, so that's nice. But yeah, that's that one. I don't care about these. It's nice to see them, but I wanted, you know, it's not what I wanted. Okay, and here we are. This is the reason I got back in to get issue 3. Was because people were talking about we are going to start seeing more crossover stuff. But this is a different artist. I think every one of these issues is a different artist. This one's fair. This one's still, issue 3, I think, has the best art. Look at this guy now, like, I don't know who's this dude supposed to be. But Donatello fights Metalhead, and it's a very short fight because he's like, I bet you if you just push this button right here, he turns off. And he does. And then this picture cracks me up. Where he's like, yay, I won. And you know, and Hellpix is like, yay, Donnie. And then he's just like, hey. What is this face? Who is this guy? He's just like, hey. And I'm like, is this Last Ronin Mikey? He looks so bad compared to how he looks in the comic. What is this? This is definitely an old turtle, but this might not be Last Ronin Mikey Turtle. I don't know what this is, but I laughed at this for like 3 minutes. Just this. Oh, I thought it was so funny. Not the funniest part though in this entire comic. I'm gonna show it to you. It's in this issue. But Donnie's like, yay, I won, and then Pepperoni Rigatoni here is like, no, like nobody wins like that. That pisses me off. So we banish him. He's like, you lose anyway. And then the bad guys are like, they're like, you fucking cheater. They're like, oh, well, I mean, never mind. They're not bad guys. The Daimyo's not a bad guy and Lord Simultaneous. Big Mama is. So I don't know, like, how does he choose who's gonna be in his gallery? But then he's always smacking the mask off somebody, and that's such a weird face. It's Mr. Og. I hate this dude. Why do the people at IDW love him so much? I'm so sick of seeing him. But then we have Donatello and Metalhead. They go to, I'm assuming this is the same place Savanti Romero used to be in. So they get dumped there. And this is where I started to get excited, as you can see. But I also, like, this is IDW Leo. He's fine. Like, I thought he got stabbed with his own sword. Like, he got his ass handed to him. The OG Shredder, like, shredded him up. Like, he was bleeding, but he's fine. I really like this IDW look from this artist. I think this is nice. But we got Raph and Leo, because apparently Alapex was allowed to stay, but Raph was not. I guess he was the loser. And we've got Rise Donnie, we have O3 Leo, and this is Raph from, I believe, the Archie comics with the wrestling storyline, which I've never read, but it's pretty prevalent. I see it around a lot. I keep meaning to read it. And this, like, I really wasn't sure, like, if this was necessarily part of the IDW storyline. It's a very generic beginning where they're just fighting Bebop and Rocksteady. So you're like, when did this happen? But this happens after the brothers are split in the Return to New York series, where they're split and they go their separate ways and then they get back together. Because O3 Leonardo here says, it's an honor to meet you, Donatello. Your brothers have told me much about you. I'm glad to see you've recovered from your recent brush with madness. You seem quite lucid. Donnie's like, oh, thanks. That's my favorite. That is the funniest thing to me. So, like, when they've been just, like, chilling and talking about stuff, so they're like, well, what's your Donnie like? Well, he was crazy for a little bit, but he's good now. He's just Leo. He's like, oh, sorry you went crazy, but you seem lucid. Good for you. And he's just like, okay, thanks. But also, like, Leo totally went through, like, a mental health crisis, so maybe he's, like, He's like, I hope you got therapy. Good for you. And this Donatello's dialogue is a little weird. I always feel like people just don't know what to do with Rise because Rise is so out there. The dialogue is okay for Donnie. It's good enough, I guess. I really like this scene with the two Leos talking, and we know the O3 Leo has been through a lot, and he really learned a lot up until Nickelodeon got a hold of the O3 series. By the end of the Shredder Tribunal season, I really felt like he grew as a character, and he was, he had that whole mental episode where he just really wasn't comfortable with his shortfalls and his weaknesses, and then by the end of the Shredder Tribunal season, you could tell that he was, like, he's made peace with it, and he just does the best he can. So he's a very wise Leo by the time we get to this, and it was really nice just to see these two talk together. And then the two Raphs kind of fight, and they kind of, they kind of have a little heart-to-heart too. This is cute. Like, all of it's really cute. And then he mentions, like, he has a girl, but I don't know which one. I think his might also be Ninjara. I think she was from the Archie comics. I'm not entirely sure, but he's like, and we'll just open a little pizza place. Weirder things could happen. Weirder things have happened. And he's like, no, they haven't. Which was also cute. And then the two Donatellos, this was all fun as well. And then him talking about, like, he's going to, like, borrow this robot for, like, his own projects. They're pretty much planning to use the robot and maybe try to, like, find a way out. And then, of course, we've got the Slash versus Michelangelo, which is where we're going to end it. One more crossover fight. And this one has the wrestler turtles, which, like I said, I don't know much about, but they're just fighting the OG cartoon turtles. So I feel like it's like Goofy versus Goofy. It's almost just like vanilla on vanilla. But I do like this one. I hate to say this, but you're really not a warm color kind of dude, other Donatello. And he's like, don't you think I know that? I don't know why that was funny to me. There is some fun dialogue. I didn't cover it all. But I think the dialogue was fairly good through all of this, and they kind of had a draw here. But that is, I'm almost out of battery here. That is the Battle Nexus. I have had some ups and downs. I hated it. I loved it. I gave it a shot. If I would have just done, I was originally planning on doing a video that was like first looks of Battle Nexus and also Godzilla, the Godzilla TMNT crossover, and this one was going to be like a bitter, hateful review for the Battle Nexus, because I was just maybe not in the right mindset when I read the first two, and I think I wanted it to be something else, and that's not what it was. But there's still some really good stuff in here, and I'm glad I gave it another chance. And I'm really looking forward to the ending. I want to see what's going to happen, but I'm pretty sure, I really feel like Ninjara is going to turn on Romero Sombrero, because she kind of has like a little smirk when he takes her tail. I think maybe he has no control over her at all, and she's kind of playing the long game and seeing what's up with this dude, and then, but we'll see. We'll see. I recommend the Battle Nexus series. But yeah, we're gonna call that good. I think tomorrow I have 1, 2, and 3 of the Godzilla now, and I think I'm going to, I've just only read the first one, but I'm going to quickly read 2 and 3, and then we'll do a review of that maybe tomorrow night or Friday night. But thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Okay, bye.